Coming up on Citrus TV News Live at 6, we break down the new distracted texting while driving law.
And the East Coast braces for its first winter storm.
And an SU alum has a big announcement.
All that and more. Citrus TV News starts right now. Thank you for joining us on Citrus TV News Live at 6. I'm Nick Cardona.
And I'm Brian Cheung. Over the weekend, hundreds of students camped out in the Office of Administration. Why? Well, that's our top story tonight. The general body SU has now occupied Crouse-Hinds Hall for 7 days. The group met with Provost Eric Spina today to discuss the protesters' 45-page list of demands, highlighting topics like multicultural programs, hate speech, and faculty training.
The movement started last Monday with the Diversity and Transparency rally outside of Hendricks Chapel. After the rally, the protesters marched down to Crouse-Hinds to begin their occupation. University College Dean B. Gonzalez was appointed to represent the administration in negotiations.
The group struck a deal with administrators to remain inside the building through the weekend, during which appointed negotiators met with Dean Gonzalez and Chancellor Sivaroon multiple times. The general body says that these meetings are helpful, but they will not leave the building without sitting down with the Chancellor and the Board of Trustees.
And members of the general body will be meeting tonight with Student Association, where SA will hear their concerns. Citrus TV will have a report on the meeting tomorrow night on SA Today.
I think we've exhausted the democratic process. It's clear that the administrators and the Chancellor, he and his administrators have disrespected that in some regards, especially with divestment and things like that. So this was our last resort. This was a way in which we were sort of screaming for our voices to be heard, and it looks like it's working thus far.
Blackboard and Cheung, two companies that offer academic resources for students, have decided to team up starting in 2015. According to Usher Lieberman, Vice President of Communications for Cheung, about half of all college students use Blackboard while the other half use Cheung. To close the gap, the two companies are partnering up in hopes of reaching more students. Students will be able to subscribe to Cheung Study, Cheung Tutors, and Cheung Career Center programs through Blackboard in 2015.
And today, Syracuse University will be hosting a fall reception where students can learn about academic programs, student life, and financial aid. The event begins at 8:30 a.m. with a check-in at the Shine Student Center, followed by a welcoming ceremony at any specific college, lunch, and even a meeting with representatives from university offices. The fall reception will conclude with college open houses for students to become accustomed to the various buildings. And whip out your winter jackets and snow boots because a snowstorm is set to hit the East Coast later this week. 7 million people from Montana to Michigan are under winter storm warnings. 6 inches or more of snow is predicted in the Dakotas to Minnesota and northern Wisconsin and Michigan.
If your two favorite activities in the world are gambling and filling your gas tank, you're in luck. Today, the Save-On convenience store and gas station in Canastota are opening 14 new slot machines for you to try and make back some of that gas money. The gas station is located right off the New York State Thruway, and the operators of the slots, the United Indian Nation, the operators of the Turning Stone Resort Casino.
And coming up, what can we expect from the new Obamacare website?
And are you single? If so, we have some good news for some online shopping deals.
All this and more next on Citrus TV News.
Enjoy these beautiful days while they last because they are far and few between. A polar vortex is expected to roll into the states by early next week. Find out how this will affect temperatures during your full 5-day forecast. Citrus TV News Live at 6. We'll be right back.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Turning a 20-foot wall into a canvas takes vision. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Know what?
What?
Since I got adopted, I've learned a lot about these humans.
I know. I mean, check out these two. It's Flirt City over here.
Yeah, I noticed that. It looks like my human is definitely into your human.
Oh, look! I think she's getting his number.
Nice.
Your human's got some sweet moves.
Takes after his dog. Oh, look, they're doing that thing where they put their arms around each other.
She kicked up a leg. It's like in the movies.
That's awesome. Looks like we're gonna be hanging out a little bit more.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool. Not in my house, not anywhere.
It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Drivers will face new consequences if police catch you texting or using your phone while driving. Citrus TV's Caroline Strange breaks down the new law and the penalties.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds.
New York State implemented a new law to help prevent accidents caused by distracted drivers. Some of those penalties include fines of up to $450 and a suspended license for the first offense for 4 months and up to a year if they are caught doing it again. Department of Public Safety Officer Ryan Buford says it's all about being safe.
It's about being safe, but it's also about being focused on what I'm doing between driving and talking to that person. So it's easier for me to just pull over.
But it's not just to penalize drivers, but also to ensure the safety of pedestrians. An easy way to keep everyone safe is to turn off your phone, put it down where you can't see it before you get into the car, and turn it on. The new law primarily targets younger drivers under the age of 21, but could just be the first stepping stone for stricter penalties for all drivers. Caroline Strange, Citrus TV News.
And the penalties do not apply if using a GPS that is mounted to the car or if the drivers are using hands-free devices.
And the website healthcare.gov for buying insurance plans under President Barack Obama's name will reopen Monday and is looking better than ever. If you don't remember last year's turnout, it was nothing short of a disaster. New features include an earlier and easier browsing option. Consumers can now access health insurance marketplaces before enrollment. If that wasn't a big enough change for you, consumers can also browse by simply entering their zip code. This is way different than last year's process of answering time-consuming questions.
And a unique strategy for tackling marijuana possession comes out of New York City. During Mayor Bloomberg's administration, 50,000 people a year were arrested due to minor possession of marijuana. The de Blasio administration, however, plans to reduce arrests by issuing tickets instead. The lighter penalty comes in lieu of many states taking the initiative to decriminalize and become more accepting of marijuana. And President Obama landed in Beijing, China today to kick off a week-long trip to Asia. While in China, the president will attend Asia-Pacific Economic Cooperation meetings, as well as individual meetings with Chinese President Xi Jinping. In a speech today, President Obama stressed the importance of the United States and China continuing to strengthen their relationship. Later in the week, the president will travel to Myanmar before wrapping up in Australia.
And Iraqi officials report that an ISIS leader was injured by a U.S. airstrike this past Saturday. Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, who took control over the Islamic State militant group in 2010, was said to be in a meeting with ISIS military leaders when he was hit. Iraqi government officials have not released any details about al-Baghdadi's injuries, and the Pentagon is also not offering any additional information at this time. And more than 1 million people went to Berlin over the weekend to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the fall of the Berlin Wall. The wall fell in 1989, symbolizing the start of reconciliation between West and East Germany. This past weekend's festivities lasted 3 days and was concluded with the release of 7,000 white balloons along what used to be the wall's path.
And a suicide bomber killed and injured multiple students in a Nigerian high school assembly. Nearly 2,000 Government Technical Science College students gathered for their weekly Monday morning assembly when the bomb went off at 7:30 a.m. Multiple parents have spoken out about the school needing to take proper security measures to ensure the safety of their students. And if you're Chinese and single like me, you might know this already, but shopaholics will be happy to hear that Chinese e-commerce firms are gearing up for the biggest online shopping day of the year. This Tuesday, known as Singles Day due to the date 11/11, where the ones represent single people, is meant to celebrate the single life by buying things for yourself and your friends. Multiple Chinese online companies have prepared by hiring temporary staff and securing more warehouse space.
And up next, who will star in the next Gorman?
And what's going on with your old iMessages?
All that and more when we come back.
Hey, I'm Anderson Cooper. As a parent, you want to make sure that your child knows how to deal with bullying when they see it happening. And chances are they want to help, but they don't really know how. Well, teach them that the best thing to do is calmly walk away, find a teacher or other adult, and speak up. And do your part. Be that adult they can talk to and trust will listen. Join me to help stop bullying. Go to stopbullying.gov to find out more.
How you doing? My name's Steve. My family's lived in this neighborhood for years. Recently, things got so tight, we had to go to our local food bank for help. I lost a lot of sleep worrying about what the neighbors might think. That is until I saw them there, too. How'd I do, Steve?
A little stiff. You could have done a little better.
What? Come on. You know, I have an Academy Award.
Yeah, but not for playing me.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
Well, we definitely saw those nice warm temperatures today, but they're not going to last long because, like I said before, that polar vortex is rolling in. But fortunately, right now, it's 55 degrees and cloudy. Winds are coming from the east-southeast at 7 miles an hour with a humidity of 49%. We had a high of 57 degrees today, so not much warmer than it is right now. And we're going to see a low of 44 later this evening. And, in fact, it does feel like 55 right now, not any higher or lower. But if we take a look into tonight, we don't have any chance of precipitation, but it is going to drop down to 44 degrees, so a little bit chillier than it is right now, but nothing too drastic. The skies are going to clear up just a little bit. You're going to see that moon peek out. It's going to be partly cloudy, and winds are going to come from the south-southeast at 10 miles an hour, so they're going to pick up just a tad from what they are right now. And if we look at the current temperature, Syracuse is at 53, teetering between 53 and 55. So it's not too cold. Actually, very mild day for fall. We're expecting colder temperatures, but fortunately, we're seeing these 50-degree temperatures still. Buffalo is very similar at 55. Albany's a little lower at 51, but around New York, we are pretty similar to the other cities around New York. And taking a look at the current surface map, we see a stationary front over New York right now, which is probably going to bring us temperatures very similar to what we have today in the next 48 hours. Nothing too drastic. Temperatures aren't really going to drop very much, so we are going to see this. But we do see a little bit of precipitation up here, which is going to hit us a little bit later this week. And we're going to look at our current dew point. Syracuse is at 34, so we are right in that comfortable range. So air's not too dry, not too moist, so nothing too bad for the breathing yet with the temperatures. But that could drop within the next few weeks, which is going to bring us a little bit drier air, unfortunately. And look at the precipitation forecast. We're probably going to get around a half an inch to an inch of rain within the next 48 hours, but we won't see that tonight. Maybe tomorrow later in the day, maybe rolling into Wednesday morning. But we do see this cluster of precipitation over here, which is going to be snow and kind of gross weather, which we're going to see later this week. And taking a look at that 5-day forecast, tomorrow is actually going to be sunny, very similar to what we had today, even nicer than what we had today. Temperatures are going to be 64, the low of 51, and it's going to be sunny skies. Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, we're going to see, unfortunately, precipitation, and it's going to be snow. It's not necessarily going to be rain, so if those temperatures get cold enough, it's going to freeze into that rain. We have a 60% chance of precipitation on Wednesday, Thursday a 30% chance, and Friday a 40% chance. So that polar vortex is actually going to hit. It's going to hit later this week, bringing us those colder, grosser temperatures that unfortunately we haven't been wanting to see, but we're going to get anyway.
Thank you so much, Rachel. Now, I know that the temperatures might be a little warmer when it rains, so that it might not be snow during the day, but when those temperatures reach, I saw, as low as 30, 32 degrees in the nighttime. Can we expect that to stick on the ground?
If the ground is cold enough, if we keep seeing these days where it's going to be 40 and then 60 and then 30 and 50, unfortunately, or fortunately, the snow isn't going to stick on the ground because the ground's not going to freeze and hold that snow on the ground. But in the next few weeks, once that polar vortex hits and these cold temperatures continue, that ground is going to solidify and these precipitation is going to start sticking, and it's going to be not so great when you're walking around campus.
So I know tomorrow it's going to be 62 degrees, and some people, ambitious people, might bring out the shorts. Is it going to be time to pack it up once that polar vortex comes through?
I think, yeah, definitely. Once that polar vortex comes through, it's going to be too cold to even walk out without a jacket. Frostbite's going to start hitting, and I mean, it's going to hit more in the Midwest, but we are going to see the effects of it over here in the Northeast. But as the month of November keeps going in December, it's going to get really cold, and those shorts are probably not a good idea.
All right, Chief Weather Anchor Rachel Wolski, thank you so much. And now let's send it over to Nick for our ICYMI segment to fill you in on all the tech news, entertainment buzz, and important cultural stories you may have missed from this weekend. Nick, what's going on?
Brian, thank you. Dennis Rodman, former NBA superstar, says that he helped secure the release of American prisoner Kenneth Bae from North Korea. On Saturday, Bae was finally released after spending 2 years in captivity. Rodman has claimed credit for Bae's anticipated release thanks to the letter he wrote to the Supreme Leader. Rodman did not receive a reply to his letter, but a video was released soon after the letter was sent showing that Bae was alive and well. Who knew Rodman and Kim Jong-un were such biffles? And this past weekend, Prince Harry delivered a heartwarming message in support of his fallen comrades. On Sunday, Harry delivered a speech in Afghanistan as part of Remembrance Day commemorations. He laid a wreath and a handwritten note to commemorate the 453 British military personnel who died in action in Afghanistan. The remembrance service took place at Kandahar Airfield in Kandahar, Afghanistan. In other Prince Harry news, he was photographed in his uniform, apparently making him the most desirable man in the universe. Now, that's according to some of my female colleagues. And thank goodness our prayers have been answered. Apple has fixed a major glitch in their system, so those who leave Team iPhone for a new company will not lose valuable messages. Before joining the Android generation, these transfers were forgetting to disable iMessage. If iMessage was not disabled, people could still text these numbers through iMessage, and the messages would just disappear into the abyss. All it took was a class action lawsuit in California to ensure all messages would make it to their intended receiver. But really, who has Android anyway? And it's been 20 years since releasing a new album, but Pink Floyd proves that they still have what it takes. Dropping today, the album called The Endless River is an 18-song double album that features members David Gilmour, Nick Mason, and Richard Wright, who unfortunately passed away of cancer in 2008. The songs on the album were written and recorded during the making of the band's The Division Bell album back in 1994. The tracks are mostly instrumental and were teased to the public when the British Rockers released an exciting 30-second glimpse into its first track of the new album. And Ben Affleck accidentally released some juicy news during a red carpet interview about Matt Damon. Affleck revealed that Damon will take the role of Jason Bourne for the franchise's 5th film. Fans are overly excited that Bourne is coming back to the big screen, which Damon finally confirmed. Although director Paul Greengrass and Universal Pictures have not discussed the news, rumor has it that the movie will be released in 2016. Until then, fans must anxiously wait and also recognize that the world's greatest bromance lives on. And our own famous SU alum Aaron Sorkin is saying adios to television for good. Sorkin made this bold statement in May, but recently reaffirmed the claim, telling the press that he may be writing his last 3 television episodes of his career. Sorkin has brought audiences so many major hits, including The Newsroom, West Wing, and Sports Night. Sorkin also graced the film world with blockbusters such as The Social Network and Moneyball. Maybe we could convince him to become Newshouse's coolest new professor. We'll just have to find that out.
And coming up in sports, which Syracuse team made program history and which team season is, well, pretty much history? Stay with us here on Citrus TV.
You realize that 49 million Americans struggle with hunger? That's 1 out of every 6 Americans.
These people are around us every day. They're our friends, they're our coworkers, their kids go to school with our kids.
Sometimes we're not even aware that they're struggling. This problem is closer than you think. But so is the solution.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
That's slow. That's slow.
Look, he's blushing.
Packers.
Viking.
Packers.
Viking.
Viking. Red state. Blue state. Vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown. Downtown.
Night owl.
Early bird.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live.
our families,
United.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
Syracuse basketball season officially tips off this Friday against Kennesaw State, but tonight the Orange welcomes Division III Adrian to the Dome for its final exhibition game of the season. This is the first time the two teams will meet in program history. Now from the hardwood to the soccer field, on Sunday SU Soccer played its first game since becoming the #1 team in the country. The Orange met Duke in its first matchup at the ACC tournament at SU Soccer Stadium. Now let's head to the highlights. Attendance record 2,533 for SU Soccer here. Syracuse's first goal, SU up here 1-0. And then Syracuse fans are roaring there. Later in the first half, Chris Nanko hits it right off the Duke defender. It goes straight to Oyvind Alseth, who puts a foot on it, finds Liam Kennel to Neon Pereira, goal. Orange up 2-0. And the defense wouldn't let Duke get on the board. Here they force a tough shot for Juuso Pesenin. Goes right to Alex Bono. 7 saves on the day for him. Syracuse takes it 2-0 and will face Louisville in the ACC tournament semifinal. Here's Coach McIntyre after the game.
We couldn't sell tickets to get people to come watch us a few years ago, so it's testament to the work they put in, day out.
Headed to the Dome for Senior Day. Dyshawn Davis, Prince Tyson Gully here getting set. Dyshawn Davis, Prince Tyson Gully, but Duke didn't care about that. 5:40 to go in the second. Anthony Boone to Isaac Blackney. Jukes the defender, gets into the end zone, put Duke up here 10-3. AJ Long out, Austin Wilson in and struggling. Pass to Sean Avant, Breon Borders says no siree. Wilson had 2 picks on the day. In goes Mitch Kimball. Fakes out the cameraman, fakes out the defense, runs into the end zone. Syracuse was tied 10-10. All the offense would get though. Riley Dixon here punting from the end zone, and Duke's Jamison Crowder takes it all the way back to the house. Syracuse loses 27-10. Syracuse out of bowl eligibility for the first time in 3 years. Here's a disappointing Coach Schaefer after the game.
We wanted to win 8, and we didn't win 8, so you're disappointed, okay? So, interesting question right there. I'd like to win 8, like to win 12, 13. When you come up short, you're disappointed.
Now Syracuse field hockey getting set ACC championship game against Wake Forest here. Wake Forest, Callie Vickers to Kristen Conroe here, 14th minute of the game. Wake Forest goes up 1-0. And then for Wake Forest, 4 minutes later, Anna Kosniak to Georgia Holland right here, right into the net, 2-0 Wake Forest, all they would need. and SU falls one game short of the ACC chip, now goes on to the NCAA tournament where they'll face BU on Saturday. And now to the NFL, fake Andy Reid, real one. We don't know about that. But what we do know, Jamal Charles here, 39-yard touchdown. Bills just up by 3 points. Chiefs on the way to a comeback. Here, 3 minutes later, Bills McKelvin here to catch the punt return, but it's recovered by Anthony Sherman. And then just 2 plays later, Alex Smith slips into the end zone for Kansas City, puts them up 17-13. One chance for redemption for the Bills with 2:30 left, but Kyle Horton straight to the Chiefs defender. And the Bills would not come back to win. Now the Bills are 5-4 on the season.
And after the break, what to wear tomorrow morning. We'll be right back.
Hey, my name's Katie and I'm in the 9th grade. I'm an A average student and I'm an athlete working towards a scholarship. And everybody tells me how much potential I have. But I just wish someone would tell me where my next meal is coming from. Katie, how'd I do?
Do you have to be so serious?
Well, I mean, I did like a crazy dance in a movie if you want me to like, do a little, no.
Play a role in ending hunger. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank.
In 1977, an 8-year-old boy picked up the game of golf from his father. The odds of that same boy then making it to the US and European Pro Golf Tours, 1 in 7 million. The odds of the Big Easy winning the US Open twice, 1 in 1.2 billion. The odds of him having a child diagnosed with autism, 1 in 110. Ernie Els encourages you to learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Today, about 1 in 5 Americans is living with a disability. Over 50 million people, including many of our friends and neighbors, teachers and co-workers, heroes and leaders. 20 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act guaranteed every person the right to live, work, and participate fully in the American experience. We've come a long way since then, and we are committed to making even more progress in the years ahead. Visit disability.gov to see how you can help.
Now, Rachel, tomorrow looks promising. What should I wear tomorrow?
Well, it's going to be very similar to today, so you probably get away with some nice jeans, a t-shirt, maybe a nice sweater. So it's going to be really nice out. You're not going to need those heavy layers, those boots. You may even be able to get away with flip-flops if you really want to tomorrow, even though it's going to be in the 50s. But if you're feeling a little daring, you could always do that.
Should I put away the shorts for now, or what's going on with that? Should I just put them away and not even look at them again? What do you think?
I'm thinking that's probably a wise move. Other than tomorrow, it's obviously with the polar vortex coming in. Later this week, it's going to be pretty chilly. Frostbite's going to be kind of rolling in a little bit, so those shorts probably aren't a good idea, especially if your legs aren't tan anymore either. Why would you want to wear that anyway?
I always have that problem. They're
white
as can be. White as can be. Well, Rachel, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Rachel.
All right.
Now, we're going to go into our pizza news now. Now, did you hear that Pizza Hut is actually offering low-calorie pizzas now?
I didn't. Brian, are you trying to tell me something here? What's going on?
No, not at all. But I am trying to tell you that Pizza Hut is trying to redefine the pizza game.
All right, well, that's what I thought. I heard they're offering everything from salted pretzel to curry and toasted cheddar to siracha.
That's a lot of different types of flavors. I'm guessing you already know what you're getting for dinner then.
Well, I mean, I have to get to the gym, but then I can have it. I think that's what I'm going to do. I don't know.
I'm still waiting for my invite, so,
well, maybe we'll get dinner sometime, maybe. I don't know. All right, well, that will do it for us tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in to Citrus TV News Live at 6. Make sure to check us out on Facebook and Twitter and follow us on Instagram. I'm Nick Cardona.
And I'm Brian Cheung. Have a great night, Syracuse.